everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Today, I'm going to show you how I made this trellis for my garden. I couldn't find exactly what I was envisioning in store, and I decided to make my own. I also couldn't find any tutorials online for exactly what I was envisioning here, so I decided why not take you along with me while I build the second one so I can show you exactly how I made it. Now, it is reinforced with some wooden stakes. The other things in it is just bamboo sticks and twine. I'm going to show you the exact materials that I used, the cost for each item, the altogether cost, and each step that I did to create this trellis. This trellis is 4 feet wide and 6 feet tall, although above ground it will stand at about 5 feet. If you'd like to see how I made this trellis, please keep watching. Thank you for visiting my channel and supporting my page. Here's everything you will need to build your trellis and how much each item costs. Your items might cost a bit more or a bit less depending on which store you visit or where you're from, but this is a general idea for you. You will need 3 6-foot wooden stakes. I got mine in a pack of 6 and it cost me $15. I am making 2 trellises, so it's exactly what I need. But if you only want to build one, I'm sure you could find a pack of 3 somewhere as well. Next, you will need 5 6-foot bamboo sticks. I got mine in a pack of 6 and they cost me $11, $10.99. You will also need 9 4-foot bamboo sticks. I got mine in a pack of 15 and it cost me $6. Finally, you will need twine. This one cost me $8.50 and it is 525 feet or 180 meters. It is natural and biodegradable. So any kind of twine will do. You will need a measuring tape. You will need some tape. And you will need scissors. That's it. So the total cost of everything I just showed you was about $40 for one. I'm not counting the cost of all the materials I got to make both. I'm just counting the materials that we're using for this one. And the total cost after tax is about $45. The very first thing that you want to do is make 2 lines with tape on your floor. The reason for this is because when you're working with so many bamboo sticks and tying them in so many places, it's incredibly easy for your frame to get shifted and wind up very, very crooked. The way I make sure that I avoid this is by putting 2 lines on the floor with tape, ending on, I have here a straight line of tiles, but if you don't have a line on your floor, then you would want to do a line down here as well, so that you know the left, the right, and the bottom are all lined up straight while you are tying the bamboo sticks together. That way, you'll have a finished product that is pretty straight and not crooked and leaning one way or the other. It also will help just with the strength of the structure, in my opinion. So I went ahead and measured a few inches short of 4 feet. I don't want to actually put my widest 6-foot sticks 4 feet apart, because then we're not going to be able to tie the wide sticks to it. So I measured probably about 4 inches short of 4 feet. And you're just going to go ahead and start lining up your 6-foot bamboo sticks. Start by lining up the 2 on the 2 tape lines, and then at the other ones inside. You want to make sure the bottom of your sticks are lined up with that bottom line, and you're going to want to keep checking on that because they do move around quite often while you're doing this. Once you have your 6-foot sticks laying down, lined up with the lines you have on your floor, you want to secure them lightly with some tape. This is so that while you're working with tying all of the shorter sticks on, they're not going to be sliding all over the floor. We are going to be taking off the tape pretty soon, but just for now, we need it in place. So I'm going to take my first 4-foot bamboo stick, and I'm going to measure about 14 inches, just over a foot. I'm going to put my first bamboo stick there. So that's coming out pretty even on both sides. And then I'm going to start tying. So I'm going to take my twine, and the way that I like to measure the pieces is just by pulling my whole arm out, and that's about as much as I need. So I'm going to do that a few times. I'm going to start with the center one and work my way out. So to do it, I'm going to take the piece of tape off. I'm going to slide my twine underneath. Make sure that it's even. Okay. And I'm just going to do one more quick measure to make sure that it's still about 14 inches, because things like to move around a lot. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to start tying. Now the tying process takes a while. It took me a few hours to build my last one, but that's okay. I took some breaks in between though. So I'm going to start by just double tying. Then I'm going to wrap it around the other way and double knot it. And then I'm going to wrap it around again the other way, but I'm going to wrap it around twice this time before I tie it in 2 knots. Other way, wrap it around twice before you tie it in 2 knots, making sure to keep it very tight. And you're going to just keep on doing that until it is completely secure. Once I've got the center part done, I move to the outer sides, and then I finish it off with the 2 center ones that are left. On the last knot, I tie it 3 times. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And that's how I tie them. Then I'm going to straighten that out. I'm going to re-tape. Well, I'm going to need a new piece of tape for that. I'm going to retape this again, just lightly, and I'm going to move over to my side here. I'm going to lift off this piece of tape. Actually, I'm going to start with this side. I'm going to lift off this piece of tape, and I'm going to attach this side. Again, making sure that I'm keeping this bamboo stick aligned with this piece of tape. Line them up. You'll excuse me for a moment. My hands were actually quite literally shredded up from the twine on the last trellis, so I've got a shredded up pinky. Gonna put a little band-aid on her so that she doesn't get too riled up. All right, again, make sure that's straight, right? The lines are lined up here, and I'm seeing that this stick is also lined up with the tile. Really helps when you've got tiles on your floor. I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing, but I figure I'll at least finish one row for you and then speed up the rest. Right? And then you do it the other way. Double knot. 1, 2, and then like I said, now you double it. You make it wrap around twice. Before you tie. Okay, so I have tied the outer ends and the center. I'm going to leave these two for now. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the very top and then one more in the middle. Once I've got the center and the ends secured for those 3 rows, I'm going to tighten these middle rows on all 3 of those. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I do that so I don't waste all of my memory, and I will be back. Okay, so I have connected all of the connections here. I've tied all of them. And as you can see, I still have the top and the bottoms taped to the floor. The bottom line is still lining up with the line of the tiles, but I have had to readjust many, many times. I honestly don't know how I would keep it straight without the tape. So that is a very important part of it. But now that I have the strongest points of the frame, the center, the top, and the bottom, now I can start a lot easier attaching the rest of the bamboo sticks. It's a lot easier now that I have a basic structure made to tie them without it all falling apart, basically. So I'm gonna start by doing these 2. Oops, excuse me. And then once I'm done those 2, I'll do one in the middle of each section, and then I will move on to the next step. Okay, this is what it's looking like now. Now it's going to be pretty easy to put the last 4 bamboo sticks on without needing the tape stuck there. You still want to make sure that it stays in these lines, but you don't have to have all the poles taped now because we have a strong enough structure that we can just add the final 4 and then we can move on to the next step. I'm going to do that now, and then I'll see you guys in a minute. Now that I'm done tying all of these knots, I'm going to go ahead and just trim the string so that there's not super long strings hanging off. I don't want to cut them too short so the knots don't come undone, but just an inch or so off of the knot is how much I like to leave on. And then once I'm done doing that, I also like to just go and make sure that every single knot is as tight as can be and there's no loose ends. So, okay, here is the finished product after cutting all of the strings. As you can see, it's looking a lot neater and I have it laid out here and it is still straight. This one actually is a lot straighter than the last one, but this is my second time doing it, so I guess practice makes perfect, right? So now what we need to do is we need to put our wooden stakes on, because right now this is pretty flimsy with just bamboo sticks. We need to add some support. So I'm going to take 3 bamboo sticks, or sorry, excuse me, 3 wooden stakes, and I'm going to put them on the left side, the right side, and the center. I'm going to actually flip it over though, because I want to tie it to the back the same way that all the other knots were tied. I'm going to tie it, attach it at the bottom here, at the very top, and the one in the middle. I'm going to do that for each of the wooden stakes. I'm also going to make sure that I'm not lining up the wooden stake perfectly with the bottom. I don't want it like this. I want it about 2 inches or so, an inch or 2 below, just like this. No real reason for that. For me, it's just so that the spike can better lodge into the soil. I don't even know if that really makes it do that, but that's just what I'm doing. So yeah. Okay, this is future Audrey, because yesterday Audrey made a mistake, and that's okay. We all make mistakes. That's a part of life, right? All right, so I accidentally tied these wooden stakes on the wrong side. I tied them on the side that has all of the shorter bamboo sticks tied on, and what I meant to do is tie them directly onto the back so they can line up straight with these long 6-foot bamboo sticks. That's the whole point, okay? So I did it wrong, but we're gonna redo it. I untied all of these strings because I didn't have enough string to just cut them off, so that took quite a while. That's okay though, we're gonna just get right back to it. So I'm gonna tie, I'm not tying them though on all 9 of the shorter bamboo sticks. I'm only gonna be tying them on the center row, the top row, and the bottom row. All right, so time to speed it up. So now that I have fixed yesterday's mistake, all of my wooden stakes are lined up against my bamboo perfectly straight, which is exactly what we want. I made another mistake while I was tying these ones on. I accidentally tied one of the ties 1 row too low, but that's okay. I fixed it up and we're back on a roll. Now I'm gonna throw you guys back to yesterday's Audrey. Okay guys, and that is it. I just trimmed off the excess string on these parts just like I did on all of the other string. And that's it, you have your trellis. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.